Yo, what's going on, guys? Sam here, and I know it seems like really early to talk about iOS 13.2. I was thinking the same thing until you realize that Apple's release schedule this year is a bit different than in years past. In fact, they've actually stripped a number of features out of iOS 13.0 that they've moved to iOS 13.1, and we now have confirmation after Apple's big September event yesterday that even more features are going to be held back a bit later until sometime this fall, not launching in 13.0 or 13.1. So today I want to give you guys our first preview of iOS 13.2 and exactly what we can expect to see there. Hint, AirPods audio sharing, screen time communication limits, those are returning in this update. So I want to give you guys a full look at what to expect. If you're excited for that, drop a like down below to seriously help me and the channel out, and hit subscribe so you stay up to date on the latest iOS news. So we actually get this list of changes from Apple themselves. Over on their official iOS 13 site, over in the See All Features section, they added an asterisk to features not only not coming in 13.0, not coming in 13.1, but coming later this fall, which will likely be iOS 13.2. Now, we have no exact release date for 13.2 just yet, but I imagine we're going to be getting this crop of changes sometime in mid-October or early November. Of course, I'll keep you guys updated here, but first up, AirPods audio sharing. Now, some users have been able to get this to work, and when it was announced at WWDC, it was a huge deal. It will allow you to Bluetooth split audio between two different pairs of Apple branded headphones. Unfortunately, if you have just a standard pair of cheap Bluetooth headphones from the store, it's not going to work there. So if you have AirPods or Powerbeats Pro, any newer Apple Bluetooth headphones made by either Apple themselves or Beats, you can share that audio not only to your own headphones, but to a friend's. And the interface actually looks like this. I don't ever remember seeing this before. Again, some users haven't been able to get this to work, and it seems really simple. It just says simply bring another pair of headphones or the iPhone or iPad they are connected to close to this iPhone, and you'll be able to share that audio wirelessly. Now, going right alongside that is announce messages with Siri. This again is going to work with your Apple branded Bluetooth headphones that are newer, where if you're walking down the street or in another activity, hands-free with no interaction at all with your watch or your phone or your iPad or any other product, Siri would say, hey, I've got this text message from so-and-so, I want to read it to you, and then would you like to reply? And this is all happening exclusively over your headphones, and then you could talk back your message, and Siri would send that back to the contact that it just texted you. Now, I always get a bit sketched out about these types of things because I know that one word Siri hears could sound like something completely different that you weren't trying to say. But still, the concept was pretty cool, and I assume that that's why Apple is still working on it. It's a great idea, it just wasn't ready for execution just yet. So that is returning too. Next up in iOS 13.2, we also have HomeKit secure video coming to the Home app. Apple announced this, and it's actually pretty cool. For some users, you are going to get free storage, and rather than having to use that third-party proprietary app from Nest, for example, you could actually review that home security footage, record it, save it, monitor it, even live sometimes, directly from the HomeKit app. And of course, it's called HomeKit Secure Video for a reason. It's not going to be like widely accessible to anybody else. It's going to be locked to your specific home account so that only the eyes that need to see it do. Also inside of the Home app, something else that Apple's been toying around with is automation. And it's actually going to be really cool when you have 1,000 smart accessories in your home. You could have a setting on your phone that when you arrived home, your oven might preheat, your lights would turn on, they might do a certain color, your air conditioner would start running, you could turn on a fan in your room. It would automate every part of your home, even start playing music on your HomePod maybe. Well, that's not in there just yet. HomePod and AirPlay 2 is not there right now, but in iOS 13.2, Apple says it is coming back. So you'll be able to create scenes and automations that allow you to start playing music, either to your home speakers with AirPlay 2 or to Apple's own speaker, the HomePod. Now, HomePod's another story here because Apple has some cool changes planned for that, like being able to recognize individual voices in your home. I thought this would be launching alongside iOS 13 on the 19th of September. Apparently, it's not. The new HomePod changes are also coming later this year, so we'll have to wait a bit longer, but likely when all these other things happen with iOS 13.2, that's when we'll see the new HomePod functionality for 2019. Next in iOS 13.2, iCloud Drive folders will be able to be shared. Now, this sounds like something that you would think is already inside of iOS 13, but go ahead, try it for yourself right now. I'm on iOS 13.1 on this iPhone XS right here, and if you select a folder, there's there are four options, I should say, on the bottom, but the main one, the share icon, is completely grayed Ouch. So you can't actually do anything, even airdrop it a folder on iCloud Drive to yourself, which is so weird. Now, if you're a kid or somebody younger that has screen time restrictions enabled, it's probably your least favorite feature that Apple has ever introduced. And the one big change they added with iOS 13 was the ability to set communication limits. Now, this is getting into some 1984 level stuff where essentially if this was turned on, you couldn't text someone after a certain time. I mean, this is heavy lockdown, heavy restriction of someone's use on the iPhone, which, I get. I'll probably be the same way when I'm a parent, but it sounds kind of annoying. That is not in iOS 13 now, but Apple says it's coming back soon. So like the only major screen time change, even that has slipped past not only the first iOS 13 update, but the second update as well. It's crazy how Apple just fell behind on all of this, seemingly at the very last second. And last but not least, the image capture API also returning a little bit later. So if you are a developer, you're wondering where that is. Why can't I actually use that properly? That's coming a bit later, after September 30th, sometime later in fall as well. That's your preview of the iOS 13.2 update. Obviously, these are just leftover features from iOS 13.0. So we can definitely assume that maybe new wallpapers, some other changes and features are going to be on the way that are actually like the flagship changes. Because a lot of this stuff is sort of on the smaller end of things. Apple has to have some more planned for iOS 13 up their sleeves, or, well, at least I hope they do. And I hope that iOS 13.2 is not just leftovers from 3 or 4 months prior. That's all I have for you guys in this video. If you enjoyed it, drop a like down below. Hit subscribe for more. I've been Sam. Hope you're doing well, and I'll see all of you in my next video.